All right, session 6 was on 11/30 of 2019. The party sees a dragon flying overhead. The party arrives in Sea Haven and discover that they are being hunted by people pretending to be authority. The party decides to take a ship to New Ashter. The ship is attacked on the way to New Ashter by an undead dragon. The party defeats the dragon, who speaks to them, telling them that this is not over, that he will have it back. That's wrong. The party arrives in New Ashter and are received by Princess Eleanor and her advisors. The party is given lodgings for the night, but are attacked by an undead knight and undead soldiers. The party is, saved is the wrong word here, the party is sought by the Kingsguard knight who protects Eleanor and are brought before her again. The party finds Eleanor dressed in black and holding the crown. The party finds out that King Maven and his son Arthur are dead, and that 12-year-old Eleanor is now Queen of Ashter. Queen Eleanor is obviously in mourning and informs the party that her advisors have been dismissed and invites the party to a council to advise the Queen on what needs to be done. This is session 7. Everybody here? I heard somebody drop out and come back.
Yeah, that was me. I'm back. Sorry.
That's okay. Eleanor turns and enters a door in the back of the dais. The Knight Tolman beckons you to follow. His face looks both sad and stern at the same time, filled with resolve. As the party follows, they are flanked by soldiers up to, but not into, the door. Inside, the wood-paneled room is a strange but beautiful polished triangular table. There are 5 chairs on each side of the table, 15 in total. All the chairs are identical, save one massive chair in the center of the far side that looks to be a smaller version of the throne on the dais. Along the walls are 4 knights of the Kingsguard standing at attention, hands on the hilts of their swords. There is a fireplace behind the throne, gently burning. Eleanor makes her way to the small throne and nearly collapses into it. Her crown falling from her head, she grabs it and clutches it to her stomach and wearily says, "Please sit. I am not sure what I should do." And her head falls to weeping. Tolman takes his place to her right and indicates the party should take a place anywhere on the other 2 sides. He says, "We will not stand on ceremony today. Sit where you please. But this side represents the crown. An hour ago, a soldier rode all through yesterday and last night and a part of the night before to bring this crown to our new queen. Killed his horse and near killed another, making his way here without pause. The battle was still raging when he left the field. I would have him here, but I am told he is dying. Before he passes, I'm going to make him a knight of the Kingsguard. There is no higher honor in our realm."
Are we ready?
Should we go ahead and ask about her sending away her advisors?
Give me one more paragraph here, and then you guys will have a chance. I'm sorry, there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of talking for me tonight because of where we are in the campaign. Tolman sighs and nods solemnly to her. "I believe you are in the company of those who would counsel you the best for now. Perhaps later, when my men have more information, we can allow some of your counselors to return. But until I know more, I will have you guarded day and night. I'm sorry, Your Majesty, but we cannot take any chance. I believe that one of them, at least, is a traitor to your realm." Tolman indicates the party should speak their minds and ask what questions they have.
Who wants to start?
I want to know why they think they're a traitor. Like, what did they do? They think they did, at least.
Looking at you, Tolman states, "There are few that knew you were here, and fewer still that knew what information you had. There were only 5 people that read your letter from Castor. Those include myself and Queen Eleanor. If I or the Queen wanted you dead, you would be, as I have the resources, the men, the skill, and the legal authority to do so. And if I or the Queen were the traitor, then the kingdom is already lost, and this is all in vain. Although I do not doubt my Kingsguard, I am still having their activities in the last evening accounted for in excruciating detail. There are a number of soldiers that were also aware of your arrival, and their activities are also being accounted for as we speak. A Kingsguard has been dispatched to Seahaven to take matters in hand there. It is less likely the culprit is there, but the possibility exists, and I will leave no stone unturned. The ship that brought you here is under our control, and its captain being investigated. He is quite frightened. He should not be. We know who he is, and worse, what he does. Although not always within the law, there are things the Crown chooses to overlook. As some activities are of benefit to the realm, the poor man has no idea how much we knew even before we talked to him. I doubt he is involved, but again, I will leave no stone unturned. I fear the traitor can only be one of Eleanor's counselors, and that, my friends, is a grievous blow. If my fear is true, then what counsels moving us to our own destruction have been made, and for how long have they been manipulating not only Queen Eleanor, but King Maven and his son Prince Arthur before yesterday? Tolman looks at the party. I've lost my own commander on the field and find myself in a position I am unready for, but it is a pale shadow compared to the sorrow and demands on my queen.
So who were they fighting?
In the south?
Yeah.
The Red Hand. It is a...
Bad.
The Red Hand is a kingdom of another island. They were never exactly allies. Some trade existed between us. We have an ambassador there, and I feel for his life. But we were never enemies either. Never have we gone to war against one another. We do not understand this attack without warning, without provocation.
Okay. I don't think we knew that before, did we?
No.
No, I don't.
It was an attack by the Kingdom of the Red Hand. It's on from another island.
So did the king travel there to fight them, or did they...
The king traveled south here on the island of Ashter toward the village of Minnow. The battle happened here on Ashter. The Red Hand came here in a line of war galleons we had a messenger come from Seahaven that a ship had seen a line of war galleons headed for Minnow. Those war galleons were filled with soldiers of the Red Hand. They took the town of Minnow and were marshaling, getting ready to march toward New Ashter. My father and my brother took nearly the entire army of New Ashter and marched south. And my father and brother are now dead.
Can we talk to the injured soldier?
Tolman says, I fear that is impossible. I talked to him extensively during the night, but he is beyond our aid now. But I'm willing to convey to you any information he might have. The battle was still raging between our forces and the Red Hand when King Maven was killed. Prince Arthur then led a charge against them after King Maven had fallen. And that charge was met with pikes and so forth, and Arthur fell. Then the Lord Commander, who was grievously injured already, got the crown and gave it to the messenger, and sent him with all haste to New Ashter as fast as he could come. The battle was still raging when the messenger left.
Why was the Red Hand so strong? Were they overnumbered?
They had a lot of men. Surprising. They must have sent nearly their entire army. We'd have no idea why. They have never been aggressive before. We've never even had an argument with them.
So why do you think one of your counselors is a traitor then?
Because no one else knew where you were, or why you were here, or what you carried. The attack on you last night was a little too convenient. Someone knew where you were and what you were doing and why you were here.
Yeah.
So had they ever had any issues with these undead or seen them before? Or anything like that?
No, we've never seen anything like that before. Tolman says, no, we've never seen anything like that. Tolman says, do you want to hear about the three counselors? Who they are and
Yeah.
what they are? Just a moment. Sorry, I got myself in a weird position here. Eleanor indicates Tolman to speak because she is, like I said, she is really in grieving right now. My hope was that one of them would claim they were trying to protect the crown, as that would be a directed mission, but none have. Their resources are far greater than other suspects, and they have many underlings that do their bidding. Extensive contacts to be accounted for. The investigation will take quite some time, as these are political people. They know what is at stake, and alas, my own resources are diminished. And I will only allow Kingsguard to investigate this, men whose lifelong deeds and loyalties put them nearly beyond question. Men that if they wanted you, would have you now. That would have been a much more open rebellion in our own forces against ourselves. Fortunately, that is not what has taken place. The traitor, or traitors, I shudder at the thought, will be discovered. Eleanor is the last of the House of Barstow, and she will not fail on my watch. The one that knew the most about the history involved here, the geography, and potentially the item you carry, and your personal movements and actions in detail, would be Quindry, the sage of New Ashter. The most important parts of his library are missing, which is alarming and a tad convenient. Events involved there go back for some time. His piles of notes, letters, messages, books, and the library on the whole would take some time to investigate. So far, he has been the most openly cooperative and helpful, but that too is slightly suspicious. Perhaps I just have a suspicious mind. I have him under guard all the same. His Holiness, Tom chuckles, Paul, the priest of Torm, is the most problematic. Far too many priests are under his command, and offices here in the castle and in his own temple. Sacred places, until now they thought so. My men are thorough and unrelenting, and put the interests of the crown above other holy considerations, traditions, rituals, to their dismay. They will think nothing of searching shrines and holy places, vestments, statues, persons, and holy writ, or whatever other things they deem worthy of searching. The priests have protested and sent official appeals to the Queen, but not openly defying us or denying us entry to anything. They are rather annoyed by us, as only the holy can be so annoyed. The one with the most personal power, and that knew the most about what kind of power that is in the item you possess, and the one that asked for it personally, later demanded it, is Momont the Green, Wizard of New Ashter, and headmaster of the School of Wizardry, a rather funny title as he only has 3 students, the eldest of which I also have confined for attacking a Kingsguard by spell, tried to charm him. My knight is not a very charming individual, Tolman laughs. Momont also has the longest history of placing his own importance higher than his office enjoys. He has always been a bit of a bully. While he's saying this, you can see Eleanor roll her eyes a little bit. He's always been a bit of a bully in council, and now with a very young queen considers himself leader of the council, and the realm for that matter. He has been corrected on that and sits in a cell under guard. I'm trying to not let my dislike of the man cloud my judgment, but I am also determined that man will never touch the item you possess. He covets it. Alas, he has always been very close to Eleanor, her teacher in matters of state, and my own actions are under her command. I even have my great uncle Sagan, the major domo's activities looked into, although he is the most feeble of the lot. His only skills are a loud voice and a big stick. Sagan is the man in red who beat his staff 3 times and proclaimed your presence with Eleanor. Those are the suspects.
Can we interrogate them?
Tolman said we can do that, yes. But first, I think we need to find out what needs to happen next.
Can we ask if there was any news from the rider that brought the crown of anything malicious about the way the king died?
No. Tolman says, I'll speak to you privately later, as I'd rather not share those details in front of the queen.
Okay.
But he
Well, then
knows
I won't
how
ask my
the
other
king died?
question.
What?
But he knows how the king died, like exactly.
Yes, it was
Okay.
it was in battle. It was in battle with the Red Hand.
What are you guys thinking?
Eleanor straightens herself and tries to wipe the tears from her face and tells Tolman, first we must secure our realm. We must know for certain who the traitor is. But just as important, we need word from the south. We need to know what transpires there. It has been a day and a night, perhaps more. It'll be another 2 days before someone can reach the field. But I fear they will not need to ride so far. I must know what is coming. Is it what is left of our army? Or is it the army of the Red Hand that marches on New Ashter?
All right, Lord Riz, send your bird now.
My bird, the only problem with my bird can only fly like very close. So anything we would see from the city, my bird would pretty much see.
Yeah, that would not work with such distances.
Yeah, we'd have to
It's a
send
good
scout.
idea, though, Roland.
Yeah. We'd have to send a scout. I think that's a good idea if we send a scout for the realm to go and find out what's going on.
That man with the fast horse. What was his name?
Tolman says, as for a trip south, I am at your command, your majesty, but I am woefully short-handed. I fear to lose any of our Kingsguard from here, and I need every one of them. And I trust not common soldiers in this. Most march south with the army. We do not even have the men to properly man the walls now. My concern is your protection, my lady, and that of the people of New Ashter. It is already a difficult task for our Kingsguard to keep morale up among the soldiers as it is, even before knowing whatever transpires to the south. I agree we must know, but I have none to send south.
I think we know our next assignment.
Well, not yet, but yeah.
Yeah, we have to figure out who the traitor is first, and then we'll have to go.
Yeah. Or at least kind of.
Have you
Discuss
guys
with the
offered
queen
yet?
more.
You guys haven't offered yet. They're just sitting listening and looking.
We'll offer, right? Everyone agrees?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys should talk
everyone
about it.
agreed.
The
Are we
Knight
all staying
Tolman,
together? And we're all
the
gonna
Knight
go?
Tolman looks up and smiles. In truth, that's why I asked to bring you to the council. I hoped you would offer. And if not, I would have begged you.
He's just trying
You
to
have
kill
proven
us all.
resourceful and sturdy in the face of worse than enemy soldiers. What's the matter? I'm sorry.
He's
Chris
just
is
trying to
just
kill
like,
us all.
he just wants to kill us all.
You've proven resourceful and sturdy and worse than enemy soldiers, and you've shown your resolve. I now ask that you use that resolve as a favor to the realm and for the safety of the people of Ashter. Eleanor says, if you will accept this task, I will give each of you a gift. Name one thing that you each need, and if it's within our means to provide, we will do whatever we can.
A dire
Tears
wolf.
start falling down her face again. I must retire and compose myself. I have so many meetings I must accept today, and I cannot be the little girl that I am. My desire is to lay in bed and withdraw from this world, but as queen, I cannot. She stands, still clutching the crown to her stomach, and withdraws out a small door in the back of the room. Before exiting, she turned and says to Tolman, "Please see that they have what they need." Tolman responds, "It will be done, Your Majesty." You are now alone in the council chamber. Well, not completely alone. There's a few Kingsguard standing around. You're alone with Tolman, and he can speak a little more openly.
Tell us what really went down.
Yeah.
No, it was a fight. It was a fight with the Red Hand. And while the king was attacking, while the king, as he always did, stand in the forefront and attacking, some of his guards behind him had fallen to a force that had flanked them. And one of the enemy soldiers had an axe and put it through his helm. One of the soldiers, the Red Hand, not his own soldiers.
Right.
Tolman sighs, so much rests on her shoulders, and at such a time it is difficult for me to imagine. It makes my own situation easier to accept, else I would fail myself, but I will not fail her. With almost a snarl, he says, "I would not mention this in her presence, but now added to my tasks is to keep the line of suitors at bay. They are already lining up to get their hands on a crown. I'm not in contention because of my vows to the realm. Thank goodness that temptation is impossible for my men as well. You must go soon, but you must go quietly. There are obviously enemies here in New Ashter. My task is to root them out. The task I beg of you is to bring us word of what transpires. I will send with you a cage of pigeons, ink, and paper. Use them as you see fit, but use them sparingly. I can only afford to send 3 with you. They know their way back here. I trust you to use your own judgment, but I would ask you leave either today or tonight if you feel that night will shield you better. Speed is important, but so is stealth. The enemy cannot know what you are doing or why. Sending you with a troop of soldiers I cannot afford would do us little good. Such an obvious sortie would be met with overwhelming force if what I fear is true. With that in mind, stealth or disguise or misdirection is as important as speed. You do not look like soldiers of New Ashter. That's why you're nearly perfect for this task.
In terms of things we will need as a group, I think we should just discuss.
That's what
I
was
think
thinking.
one of the things which would be important, which they should have to give to us, is 4 of their fastest horses. I don't think it's a good idea for us to take the wagon if we're trying to do it with speed.
Well, if you remember what they said name one thing that you need.
Is it one thing per person or one thing
Correct.
for the whole?
One
Okay.
thing per person. However, horses, Tolman says, horses I have, and they are better horses than you would find in any livery or stable.
I
mean,
have no idea.
Can we look at like what kind of weapons they have? Like, do they have like?
I can tell you right now that magic is very rare. Even their soldiers, even the Kingsguard, do not possess magical items. The weapons, for example, the weapon that Tolman himself, and this is now captain of the Kingsguard, you can see that the weapon is made of mithril, which would give it a +1. But it is no better than the weapon you possess.
Weapons are out.
Not out. If somebody wanted a +1 weapon, they would be able to undoubtedly be able to provide that. But some fantastically big magical weapon, no, they can't do that.
I think we already all have +1s at least, don't we?
I believe you do.
I don't know what's mine. Let me check.
His recommendation is that he actually thinks you would be better off to leave tonight. It's early morning right now. He actually thinks you would be better off to leave at night. I don't know if you want to travel by night or not, but I would leave town at night under cover of darkness. We know there is a traitor, and he undoubtedly has underlings, and they're going to be watching.
I have a question. Do they have any item in the capital that can, like, in a way, hide the magic that is in the wand, like a box or anything that we could put it in that would make it less attractive to all the creatures that are coming after us?
That you would have to ask of Momont the Green, who is currently in a cell
Never mind.
below the
Well, plus,
castle.
I don't think that's going to do much of a difference because I don't think it's necessarily attracting monsters to the wand as much as the Lord of Three knows who has the wand and is sending monsters.
That is our. Now, I assume all this conversation is going on in front of Tolman. He says that is also what I think. That somebody who knew why you were here knew you had the wand, and there are very few people that knew you had it. That's why I have Eleanor's 3 counselors detained.
Can we ask why the zombie dropped dead when he arrived?
He has no idea. He says, I know very little of undead. I have no idea. However, if it was being controlled, I suspect they knew it was going to lose when I arrived, and whoever was controlling it. He says, but that's just a wild theory. I have no idea.
All right, well, I don't know what else we need other than the horses. I'm happy to ask for a horse.
Let's ask. Can we ask what his suggestion would be?
Yeah.
If I were you and the task you were about to perform, I would take the horses that I can provide.
Yeah.
They're better than the horses you would find at the livery.
All right, I'm fine with
If
that
we're
then.
going to leave at nighttime, do we need to take a rest before we go? Because I have some spell slots that are not open, so. That's
Probably a good idea. You have time for a rest, and you still have time to talk to the 3 counselors. Like I said, it is not quite daybreak.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to him.
Tolman wants to tell you a little bit about what your task is. He says, make your way to Farmington, and if that town is under siege, let us know. Beyond that, I fear you will know more than I do soon enough what you should do, so I will offer no more direction. You're going to take the road to the west through the Spine Hills, and after the road splits, south will take you to Farmington. The battle lies some 50 miles beyond that, in the southern tip of the Spine Hills. The way to Farmington should still be clear, but use your own judgment beyond that. Any news of what transpires to the south, or news of more of the winged horrors you encountered or other enemies, choose wisely and do your best to provide us with what information we need, and we will do what we can for the protection of our queen and her people. He does say if you choose not to take a horse and they have no items you want, he would be happy to give you 50 gold pieces instead, if you prefer. He says he looks at you and smiles and said, the horses are worth more than that.
I'd rather take the horses, in all honesty. I know how much money we have as a group.
We have plenty.
Just so that everyone knows, our task that he gave us, all those notes, I made a note of it and I called it task. It's public.
Sweet.
Just in case we forget what we're trying to do.
Tolman says, before I take you back to rest, who would you like to speak to first?
I'd like to talk to the mage.
The wizard? Ooh. Fantastic rolls, Riz. Write those down.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm writing it down
Jeez,
now.
look at that. That's incredible. Nice job. Tolman takes you into the dungeons of the castle, embedded deep in the hill and the castle rests upon. Tolman tells you Momont is the closest to Queen Eleanor, holds the greatest influence over her personally, and he has been her teacher, and he has a tremendous dislike of the Kingsguard, the army, or anything not to do with diplomacy. Fortunately, Eleanor's father and brother were huge supporters of the Kingsguard and our authority, and had greater influence with her than even Momont. I detest Momont, and the feeling is mutual.
Do we have access to the items on our cart?
You can have.
Out of interest, are we just Mormont? Is he's the wizard, isn't he?
The wizard. He's the green wizard of New Ashter. He is being detained because of an attack on the Kingsguard.
Okay, so
well, you can ask him about that.
Is his quarterstaff any better than mine?
You can see he doesn't have his quarterstaff right now. In one large and dry cell, there was a bed and a chair and a table. 2 Kingsguard knights are within the closed cell, along with a man seated in the chair. There is a cloth used as a gag over his mouth. He looks really mad. Tolman says, "We will remove your gag, but if you cast another spell, it will be replaced, and your confinement may become permanent." The wizard nods his head, and the Kingsguard removes the gag. "Eleanor will hear of this," Momont says. "She already has," replies Tolman. Momont says, "I have been a faithful servant to the Barstow family longer than you, Tolman." Mormont struggles to silence himself and looks away. Momont looks at the party. "The artifact you carry is not yours. It is an artifact of this kingdom, property of the realm's history, an ancient power of my province of wizardry. Tossing it away is foolishness. My school may be able to unlock its power, or perhaps remove it. No one else has any chance of doing so. I perhaps made my arguments too strongly before the impressionable queen and her brute," nodding toward Tolman. "For that I will need to apologize. But she is not ready to lead, and this one only thinks with his sword. Quendry is nothing more than a bookkeeper, and Paul is a servant of his religion, less this realm. There is no more qualified advisor than myself. She needs a regent protector of the realm." He struggles to silence himself again. Tolman intercedes. "It is true that tradition calls for a regent protector for royalty that is underage, to rule in their name. The age of ascension is 13, and Eleanor's birthday is next month, 3 weeks hence. The Kingsguard has determined that Eleanor, in as much emotional pain as she is in our estimation, ready for her throne. Momont has a legal point, but growing up is not a magical thing that happens in a single day, not even a birthday. I have used my authority as the Kingsguard to make her ascension immediate. I may be judged for that decision by many in the years to come, but I stand by it. It was unanimous of the Kingsguard in New Ashter, and I should also add to this, that this is Momont's fault. It was he was Eleanor's primary trainer in matters of state. He actually did a good job. I should also add that the regent protector would be selected by myself, and I am not sure I would have chosen Momont in any case. Traditionally, it would have been to the captain of the Kingsguard, myself, but that's not a power I covet. And naming myself regent protector to wait 3 weeks for a birthday just did not seem right to me. This is a coup, Tolman. You are now the sole advisor to an underage and impressionable princess, unlawfully ascended to the throne. Worse than claiming it yourself, you have betrayed your precious Kingsguard oath to the realm. Momont once again silences himself, fuming. Tolman says, "I have heard enough. I will retire and you can talk to him further if you can stand it. I don't want to let him bait me further. I need to retain control of myself." As a parting comment to Momont, it is not true that I am her only advisor. I have enlisted these 4 to also counsel her for the time being, and I have no control of them at all. Tolman departs, saying, "I will be upstairs when you are done." Momont mutters under his breath, 4 foreigners, counselor to the young princess. Momont looks outraged, only barely in control of himself.
I want to ask Momont a question, but I want to try to trick him into actually giving me a decent answer. how exactly did he believe himself and his school, his students at the school could unlock the power of
I don't
one?
know.
Because for him to
I
believe that he could
personally
do
have
it,
unlocked the power of other artifacts, but I have never possessed an artifact like you have. But I don't know that we could. But I think we should try.
Let's ask him, what do you know about this artifact?
yeah, what does he know about the artifact?
I know
What-
very little other than it is obviously an ancient artifact. That symbol on the bottom of the artifact puts it in the realm of the Lords of Three, which were ancient counselors to the old king 1,000 years ago. They were also the source of a tremendous trouble. Quendry would know more about that than I. Quendry is the sage of New Ashter. You're speaking to the wizard.
Yeah, what does the wizard know anything about what like the possession that's been going on of all the creatures, like the dragon and everything? How
He has
is that
no
possible?
idea. He said a dragon has not been seen in Ashter in 1,000 years.
No. I'm not
don't
asking
know.
him, but does he know of a spell or something that would let someone like control somebody else in the sense of like how we've been seeing
He does
the Lord
not,
of Three?
nor has he ever heard. He does not, nor has he ever heard of any such thing. He says, I've
Okay.
never heard of that.
What do you know about the Red Hand?
The Red Hand is a kingdom to an island to the southwest. They were never enemies of ours, and it is perplexing that they would attack us unprovoked. He says it makes no sense to me. He says one of my pupils was an ambassador, is an ambassador there, and I fear for his life.
Interesting. Can we roll? Can we check if we believe him or not?
Absolutely. What are you going to roll?
Insight? Would it be insight?
Insight. Excellent.
Dice tower?
Must roll
Chat?
into the dice tower or chat.
Please into the dice tower.
Are we all rolling?
You can.
What do y'all have on plus for
I have
insight?
+5 on insight.
Philip has no idea.
Ah, thanks.
Roland, however, believes him. He actually believes he's telling the truth, but it's kind of hard to tell because everything he says is said with such, he's very angry about being down here in this dungeon. He doesn't, it's obvious that he doesn't think that Tolman should have authority. Certainly shouldn't have the authority that he has. But he will also tell you that Tolman is not he doesn't really believe that Tolman is a traitor to the realm. It's just that I don't agree with their view on things. But as far as attacking you, that's crazy. If Tolman wanted you for dead, you would be.
Does he know what I want to ask him? Not that we're gonna take his word on it, but let's ask him who he thinks the traitor could be out of the council.
I have no idea. I don't believe it's a council member. I don't
who
know,
else
but
knew
I don't
that
believe I don't believe it's a council member. He says, I've worked with Quendry all my life. A bookkeeper sort of rolls his eyes. And I've known Paul for over a decade. He goes, he's more in service to his religion than he is the realm. He says, but I can't see either one of them causing this.
Can we
He says,
ask
I
him?
certainly did not.
We heard stories of the queen dying under suspicious circumstances.
That's true.
It's a few weeks ago, isn't it? Or is it a few months? I
It
can't
was
remember.
a few months. It was a few months ago.
Yeah. What was this true? Because in the past few months you've lost your queen, your king, and your prince.
Yes.
Can you tell us what transpired
My
with the queen's death?
my alchemist believes she was poisoned. Says I know not, but my alchemist believes she was poisoned. King Maven and Arthur and Eleanor know this. I believe Tolman knows it also. This was several months ago. He looks at you and says, it's actually worse than that. The king's brother and his family, the king's brother went to the north some years ago. It was 3 or 4 years ago, went to the north and was killed by a group of orcs. When we came to tell his family, all of his family were dead in their home. Also appeared to be poisoned.
Who would be next in line to the crown?
Eleanor is the last of the family.
No, if their family died, who would be next in line?
Eleanor is the last of the family of Barstow.
I thought you said the old dude was related.
No.
The
old man was related to Tolman, the King's Garden.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but if she dies, the now
there
now
is
the
no
last.
heir.
So who would be the next to take power? Not that
The
an heir.
Kingsguard would probably take power, but then a decision would have to be made because they are not. I mean, the Kingsguard have tremendous authority, but they are not of the royal house of Barstow. Probably the Kingsguard, but that's why suitors are starting to line up. Everything from nobles to beggars.
What did you do last night after you left the meeting with us, Mormont?
I argued with Tolman and Eleanor about the item you possess. And then the Kingsguard came. The Kingsguard came to my wizardry school, and was trying to do an investigation after you were attacked. And one of my students, to keep him from disrupting our stuff, tried a charm spell on him, and failed. The student was arrested, but before they arrested him, in my anger, I tried to show the student how to do it properly. So I tried to do the charm spell, and that ended me up in this cell.
So you failed at a charm spell, but believed you could disenchant our wand.
Have you ever failed at a spell, Lord Riz? A small one? Have you ever attacked and missed?
I believe I have.
I believe you have too. He said, however, given time, with enough time, secrets, I mean, it was not something we would do instantly. I mean, he says, I think you should give the wand to me so we can research it and spend time and discover more about it.
We don't have time. Unless we're
And
gonna
he
give
looks
it to
at you
him
and he
while
says
we're
that
gone.
may be true.
All right, I don't think it was him.
All right. Yeah, I
like
don't
this
think
guy.
it was him.
He passed.
He hates the Kingsguard, but you get the idea that he actually wants what's best for the realm. It's just
I
that
do.
he has
I have really good vibes about this guy. He's a
he
snake.
has
He's a
yeah.
Harry Potter. He's a Snape.
You could tell that his head is a little bit bigger than his. Tolman is the one that sort of told you that he thinks he should be the leader of the council. In fact, he thinks that he should be the protector of the realm right now. But
I just get good vibes from this guy. He's
Cool.
just passionate about what he does.
that,
Because
and by the way, you rolled fairly high, and yeah, that's exactly what you think.
Good.
I feel like we should just make a decision as a group as to whether we should let him get released.
Let's go like private. Are we
because-
still by him?
Riz, you don't have the authority to do
No,
that.
I understand, but I'm saying we should talk to the leader of the King's Guard if we believe, because he could help run everything and help the realm while we are away.
And Eleanor likes him, and she
That's
needs
true.
somebody to comfort her.
Yeah.
So I think we should at least tell him that we will put in a good word with Tolman.
If you guys remember, when Tolman was talking bad about Momont, Eleanor rolled her eyes.
Yeah.
This has...
Because I just feel like this guy seems to know quite a bit, in the sense that he knows
much
more
as
than
I-
the King's Guard knight. And I think he could help a lot in terms of making sure the realm is secure and helping the now queen to rule while we
You
are
guys
not
ready to
here.
go back and talk to Tolman?
Real
He's
quick,
waiting, he's waiting upstairs.
real quick. I brought our mysterious scimitar with us from the wagon. I want him to disenchant it for us.
Oh, he looks at the scimitar.
Yeah.
He casts an identify spell on the scimitar and laughs. Said, "This is an evil thing." He said, "I'll buy it from you."
What?
He says, "I won't use it myself, but I want it to show my students." What if I just buy it from you?
I was hoping he'd like clean the badness out of it and we could keep it.
Well,
Bad.
he says, I can make it worth your while. I'd give you 100 gold for it.
I'd take 100 gold for it.
He says, I would love to show my students this.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with that.
I am giving okay, just a moment. Party inventory.
Obviously, we're not going to give him a weapon now while he's like
Of
locked
course
out.
not. Of course
But we'll
not.
put
I
it
get
in the
idea.
corner for him. Yeah, we'll put it in the corner where he can't reach it.
Yeah, he grabs the weapon and he's no.
Grab the weapon, stabs Philip.
You can. He has 2 Kingsguard knights protecting him. You can hand it to them. Let him know to give it to him afterwards, if he is ever released.
Can we bargain to get more than
They'll
100?
take it. I just gave you 100.
Oh, okay. All right, I'm good to go talk to Tomlin if you guys are. Or Tomlin's that his name? Yeah.
All right, Tomlin's waiting at the top of the stairs.
Guys, we so rich now. 652 gold pieces.
Yes, you do. Tolman says, "I hope he didn't talk you out of a wand."
He would never be able to do that.
No, that's what he wants. I can tell you that. He argued long into the night.
I just tell Tomlin we believed him. We don't really think he's the traitor. We'd like to question the other 2.
Tolman looks at you and says, "To be honest with you, I don't think he is either." He says, I detest the man and he detests me. However, if he says, I have a hard time believing he would be a traitor to the crown. Unfortunately, I have the same opinion of the other 2.
Hopefully we roll better insight than you do, Tomlin.
I feel like we should
Eleanor
mention
knew
that we believe that Eleanor will need his advice and counseling going forward while we are away.
Tolman actually agrees with you. He says, in truth, as soon as we find out exactly who the traitor is, if it is one of those 3, the other 2 will be immediately released. And he says, I may have gone a little too far putting him in the cell, but it was a direct spell against one of my Kingsguard, and that can't go ignored. So yes, my plan is to release him as soon as he understands the consequences of his actions, because he has always been he's always been the closest to Eleanor and the closest to King Maven, to tell you the truth. He has always been Eleanor's tutor. I shouldn't say he's the closest to Maven. I would say that Quendry has always been the closest to King Maven, the sage.
I'm just going AFK quickly. I'll still be able to hear you all, so just carry on.
He's going outside for a cigarette.
All right, I say we talk to another one real quick.
Let's talk to this Quindry.
Sounds good.
Quindry actually has an office here in the castle, so it won't be very hard to get to him.
So he's locked in his office?
Yes.
Okay. Are you loading something or are you just waiting us to ask?
I think we're waiting.
No, sometimes you'll see me doing things in the background and so forth.
Okay.
Before entering the library, Tolman says, Quindry is a nice and personable man. Do not be deceived by his modest demeanor. He is a lord of tremendous influence and power in this realm. He administers the financial aspects of the realm. His primary task, actually. Although he is my personal favorite of the Queen's counselors, it is wise to remind yourself just how much influence, even over me, this man has. The party enters the tower of the Sage of New Ashter. This is Quindry.
It's a dude from Game of Thrones.
You see a stout old man with a long beard and blue robe standing in a circular room filled with old books. Several ancient books are chained with locks to the wall. He says, My name is Quindry, Sage of New Ashter, keeper of the ancient books. I also handle the crown's finances. I'm sorry for your struggle here in New Ashter, although I had no part in it. My hope is that young Tolman here finds the traitors in our midst. It is well known to all where we lodge guests of the crown. I am loyal to our queen and will gladly help you in any way that I can. I'm being confined here until the plot is discovered. While inconvenient, I do understand the necessity, and I am assisting in any way I can.
All right, let's ask him about the three. The
Lords of
The
Three.
Lords of Three.
Hang on. Just a moment. After our first meeting and the council that followed, I came back to research what I could of the Lords of Three. But the ancient books I have were destroyed some years ago. One of the books destroyed was the Book of Ancient Houses. The other was the history of the battle that brought down the ancient kingdom. Still, records I have that may be of value, and I am still researching those, but they are not as direct as the two lost books. Things like purchase orders, royal decrees, and other mundane texts. I have been master of the library for 2 generations of the crown. I served Planin, King Maven's father, as well. A couple of years ago, I returned after a council meeting to find 2 of the books I have chained. The most precious and important of the ancient books had been ripped to shreds and removed. I am unsure whether it was to remove parts of them or simply to destroy them. Quindry seems horrified at the prospect. I had read the books long ago, but my memory of them is less as I grow older. The ancient house of the Lords of Three had, of course, 3 lords. All were counselors to the High King of the ancient realm. One was the Lord of Life, one was the Lord of Love, and finally, the Lord of Death. Each represented 3 phases of existence: life, the creation and growth; love, of people, of duty and nature; last, of course, with death, the most mysterious phase. It was believed in those days that the balance of the 3 was found the greatest wisdom. Hence, those were the 3 greatest of the king's council. They held a place of power and honor in the old kingdom. It was said in the final days of the House of the Lords of Three, one lord took dominion over the others. The house name changed from the Lords of Three to the Lord of Three. The 3 counselors became a single counselor, the Lord of Three. What happened to the other 2 is not known, as the battle that felled the ancient kingdom quickly followed. The second book was of the last battle. It was very difficult.
You. Take your medicine.
Sorry what's her name telling me I should take my medicine. The second book was of the last battle, was very difficult to read.
I'm reminding you.
Written by people filled with tremendous loss, sorrow, and fear. The seat of the ancient kingdom of Ashter was in the north until 1,000 years ago. If the stories be true, it would be somewhere in the Great Wastes. He points to a map on the wall. The first time you guys have seen this. The battle was between the crown and an ancient house called the Lord of Three, a powerful lord that coveted the power of the ancient beasts the crown was known to have. It was said that the house of the crown were dragon riders. They were also said to have a cavalry of griffins and wyverns and other such beasts. It is difficult for us to imagine what kind of power could bring down such a kingdom. But it is said, some believe all this to be a fairy tale, you understand, that the Lord of Three did. It is said, using the power of 3 artifacts, an army was raised unlike any that had ever been seen before. The dragon riders scorched and burned and destroyed vast areas of land, trying to destroy this almost unbelievably huge army. I'll bet you guys sort of know what happened. The ancient kingdom defeated the Lord of Three, but at such a cost that the ancient kingdom disintegrated. I do not understand how, but it is said that the enemy army would grow as the battle progressed. By the end of the battle, the Lord of Three had more flying mystical beasts than the noble house of the crown had. The dragon riders were destroyed. When all appeared lost, the armies of the Lord of Three were suddenly vanquished all at once. The book was vague, but it read as if the army just stopped and fell on the spot. Creatures fell out of the sky like raindrops. You can see why many believe this to be a fairy tale. There was an exodus of great sorrow from the old kingdom. Thousands died upon that road. Pools of boiling water, lava, acid, and worse. Fumes that would kill a man in a second drifted in the air. The aftermath of the battle was said to be terrible. There was no way people could continue to live there. A few noble houses escaped the devastation and survived, and tried to rebuild in other areas of Ashter. But soon they were at war with one another for supremacy. Those wars lasted over 100 years. Much of our ancient history was lost in those times before the House of Barstow finally put an end to the strife and settled here in New Ashter. That war was many hundreds of years ago, and the House of Barstow has ruled Ashter ever since, which is why today's events are so terrible. Eleanor is now the last living survivor of the House of Barstow. Our previous queen, King Maven's wife, I'm sorry, this is incorrect, saying it died giving birth to Eleanor, but that is not what happened. I need to fix that. King Maven had a brother, Duke Pultar, but he was killed a year ago on a trip to the northwest. His body was still on the horse that returned here. He was shot with many arrows. We went to tell his family, but they were all found dead in their house. We never found out what happened to them. But it left King Maven and his 2 children as the last of the House of Barstow, and now Eleanor is truly alone. I forgive Tolman for this confinement. His single-minded purpose is to keep our queen alive and safe, a purpose I will aid in any way that I can in my own confinement. He offers you guys a copy of this map that I just showed.
Definitely want that.
Yeah, I'll take that. Also, can we ask him, does he remember when he read the books of what the 3 items of power were?
No, it did not say.
Because we've got one of them.
I'm not sure the people that wrote the book knew. They were lost when the Lord of Three obviously fell 1,000 years ago.
Let's ask him what he knows about the Red Hand.
I know very little of the Red Hand. He says, however, I do know that they have never been enemies to Ashter. In fact, there's been some trade. We have some copper, which they like, and they have some really fine oak, wood, and so forth that we've traded from time to time. They've never been enemies.
How are the finances in New Ashter?
Well, they were pretty good, but now they are in an absolute disaster. He says a lot went into our army, and now we have lost our entire army. The hiring of soldiers and so forth, the amount that we have lost. He says it really depends on how much of our army comes back. But re-equipping a new army, we are now in an absolute disaster. However, he says that's the bad side. The good side is that between the farms of Farmington and around Sea Haven and some up in Weston, we have enough food. We'll be okay. The people are going to be okay. But right now, the entire kingdom is in dire straits.
Who do you think the traitor is among you?
I have no idea. I am a little concerned over Momont's desire for the item you possess. He says, but I actually don't know.
Should we all roll insight?
You certainly can.
Yep, sounds good.
To all of you, the man seems genuinely willing to help you. You do feel like it's a little strange that his books were destroyed, especially those two specific books, but he seems just as horrified that those are lost.
What are his thoughts on Eleanor?
Eleanor, I think Tolman made the right decision. She said, yes, she is young and she is not mature. However, she has wisdom beyond her years. I think she's ready for her crown. However, I am also just as certain that somebody or something wants her dead. Too many Barstows have died under too strange of circumstances, and I, for one, am glad that Tolman is with her. He is determined that she will survive.
What does he know of the death of the queen?
I know very little. I've heard a rumor. One of Momont's students told me that they thought it was poison, but I don't know.
All right, I think this guy's clean too.
Yep.
Any other questions? This is the man that knows more of the history of New Ashter and the geography of New Ashter than anybody you were ever likely to meet.
Let's see if he knows a shortcut to get to Farmington.
The easiest way to Farmington is to cross from New Ashter straight over toward the tower to the, what is the direction? To the west. Once you cross the mountains, there is a road that heads south. It's a good road. Don't take the path to the north, as that would take you toward Weston. But there's a path that leads straight through the Spine Mountains. You'll pass Longwood, and then you'll get to Farmington toward the south. The battle, I have heard, took place near the southern tower, the southwest tower, not far from Minnow.
Does he know anything else about the road that we'll be traveling on that we need to be aware of?
No, there's a tower in the hills as you cross the Spine Mountains, and there is an ancient keep not too far from that. It's just in ruins. In fact, there's a couple of them. There's an ancient tower just beyond our tower, and further, just barely past Farmington, there's an old ancient keep that we have been in somewhat of an argument with the Kingsguard about. They want it taken apart, but it's a part of history. So most of us counselors think it should be preserved.
I feel like we're missing something big to ask him, but I can't think of it.
Yeah, me too.
You might
Well,
want
also the dungeon
you might want to
masters-
ask him about the Great Wastes to the north.
Sure. What can you tell us about the Great Waste?
Well, I assume it has been attempted many times. There have been 3 expeditions sent in my lifetime. I sent the first in my youth, 2 sturdy young lads. It was a historical expedition, you understand. They sent word that they had entered the wastes, but they never returned, and nothing was ever heard from them again. I felt I had sent them to their doom, and I never sent another. Momont sent another expedition some 5 years ago, a larger one, against my objections. 2 men did return from that one. They said they were waylaid deep in the wastes by orcs and goblins and kobolds. Some 10 years ago, King Maven himself sent a much larger force, including a young wizard and soldiers and several Kingsguard, again against my objections. They sent pigeons back letting us know of their progress. They had reported defeating many orcs and other such creatures, but word from them suddenly stopped. We have no idea what happened to them or if they found the ancient kingdom.
Was that the reason you were going to the Great Waste, to find the ancient kingdom?
We believe somewhere in the Great Wastes is the remains of the ancient kingdom of Ashter. But it is simply too dangerous in there.
So, real quick, if the battle happened in Minnow, and the troops are heading towards New Ashter, where are we going to Farmington? Is there not a road that directly...
New Ashter is where the army of Ashter departed from.
Right.
They crossed the Spine Mountains, and they head down, and the battle was at the Battle of Minnow.
Okay.
Farmington is along the way. Whatever news of how that battle progressed, or whatever news the Queen needs, is what is coming from down there towards New Ashter, so they could prepare. Is it the remnants of our army?
So
did we succeed? Did we fail? We don't know. We know the king and prince had died, but we know not what happened to our army. The battle was still in progress when this rider came back last night.
I see. So there's one path that goes straight down then.
Yes.
Okay.
It is. You could head down towards Southern, but to tell you the truth, there is no passage across the mountains to get straight to Minnow.
Okay.
The only way down is to go across the Spine Hills and down the western coast. If there is any information I can provide, or if there's anything you want me to research while you are preparing to leave, let me know, and I will do what I can.
We want to look up the names. What was the name that was on that note to the kobolds? We got in our notes somewhere.
We should.
It's Feckin, to Feckin from Legrat. It's a letter in Draconic in our notes.
Let me ask him if either of those names mean anything to him.
Actually, he can read Draconic, and he looks at these. No, I've never heard those names, but I can look. I suspect, however, those are the names of kobolds. We wouldn't have much in our records about kobolds. However, they do live for a long time. Kobolds are, I'm sure you understand that kobolds are a diminutive form of dragonkind. It says that they are some extremely diminutive form of dragonkind.
I don't have anything else for this guy.
I don't.
No, I don't. Well, we can show him what the note we made of what was said by the kobolds in the cave.
Well, that sounds alarming, he says. He says, that sounds awfully alarming. Fortunately, a Kingsguard has been dispatched to Sea Haven, as hopefully he is preparing there. He says, but I suspect the power the kobolds were going to use to attack Sea Haven is now in your possession.
All right.
Quindry says, I am going to advise the king that we send for word from Clovenhill and Eastwich as well. You are our word from Castor and what transpires there. He says, but I can already tell you right now what Tolman will say. Yes, we need to know, but he can't spare too many men. He may send word to the Kingsguard he sent to Sea Haven, though. Perhaps he could come up with some people that could visit Clovenhill and Eastwick. Which?
All right, let's meet Bachelor number 3.
All right, you're going to go back and talk to Tolman? Tolman's just waiting outside. He didn't want to influence you guys.
Yeah.
We all agree we don't think it was him?
Yeah, then
know.
I just think it's a bit strange that the books that were needed to like put everything together are missing. That's the only thing I find strange.
Tolman finds that strange as well. Tolman says it could be Quendry, or it could be someone trying to keep Quendry from understanding. It's hard for me to.
Well, can we actually ask him one last question before we leave?
Sure.
Who had access to the books while he was away? Because surely books of such importance were under some sort of...
He said, he says, that's why they're chained to the wall. I occasionally have students, but they are not allowed access to those books. He said, my tower here is not impenetrable by any stretch of the imagination, but no one had access to those. No one should have been able to have access to those. I was horrified when somebody would actually destroy part of our history.
Well, I got no more questions.
I'm good.
All right. Tolman says, you want to meet with Paul?
Yes.
Yes.
So he takes you outside, headed toward the Priest of Torm, and down the long steps. On the way down the steps toward the city, a soldier quickly following down the steps and hails Tolman and says, we have found something odd, and hands Tolman a piece of paper. Tolman reads the note. 7? Tolman asks. 7, the soldier confirms. Tolman says, we use pigeons to carry messages across Ashter, and quite a few are able to fly to other islands. The priest Paul has quite a number of them, as any high priest would. But we just found out he has 7 of them on their bellies, has the stamp of the Kingdom of the Red Hand. 1 or 2 would not be terribly unusual, but 7 of them means there has been a lot of communication in recent months between His Holiness and the kingdom that attacked us.
Sketchy.
Search his quarters in the chapel and the castle. Every scrap of paper, drafts of messages, or any received. It is doubtful you will find any, if he is guilty, as they would be destroyed. But search anyway. I will confront the priest in the temple. The soldier runs back up the steps. The temple is beautiful. Building marble pews line the walls and on the far wall is an altar. Robed and hooded, priests back away as you enter, making way for the captain of the King's Guard. The main chapel has symbols of Torm emblazoned on the banners on either side of the hallway. At the far end is an altar, and kneeling in front of it, with his back to you, is Paul, the high priest of Torm. To either side of the altar is a Kingsguard knight. What have you been up to, Paul? Asked Tolman, barely masking his anger. The priest stands and turns. Gently he says, let me explain. Everyone roll your perception.
Dice tower?
Always. One of you saw something.
Hold on, I'm just rolling now.
Oh.
Why is it not rolling into the dice tower?
No.
It's being weird.
Just drag it into the dice tower.
There we go.
No,
it just wasn't for some reason.
Only one person saw something.
One of the guys is missing his eyes.
What?
I get a very brief glimpse of one of the hooded priest's face as he turns his head, and his eyes are missing, his flesh corrupted around the sockets.
Okay, I think we found our bad guy.
Paul rolls his eyes into his head, showing only the whites, and suddenly the air around him becomes hazy, difficult to see him as he transforms. Just for a second, before he falls straight through the floor, the carpet in front of the temple disappears into the floor. Just for a second, you see this standing where Paul was.
Oh.
Oh, it's a Lord of 3.
Out of the hole that Paul disappeared, dropped through, if you take a look at the map, There's a circular carpet, but the carpet just fell into the floor, and Paul went through it. Out of the hole that Paul dropped sprang 2 young undead dragons, much like the small dragon you fought before. The priests also step forward to attack, as do the 2 Kingsguard on either side of the altar. You guys can roll initiative while I set this up. I'm sure you guys realize that this fight in front of you is the biggest, meanest thing you've come across yet.
2 dragons, and you said both the guards are bad too?
Yes.
The King's Guard? Great. And priest.
Go ahead and share it with me.
However, you have...
Oh, shoot. We haven't rested, have we?
No.
I'm 8 damage.
Oh my gosh. You don't have your unturned dead either, do you? Proud. Or whatever it is.
I do.
You do have it?
I
Okay,
can do
good.
it. I can cast it.
Okay, good. That'll be helpful.
Because yours is turn undead. Is that a spell?
It's a cantrip.
You can do it all the time, yeah. I've still got all my first level spells. I don't have any second level spells. So
Yeah, now they're all on the map properly.
what I can do is I can make it that the 2 dragons can't see us. I can make a fog cloud around them, but I don't know if that'll work.
That's a good idea.
Oh, Roland's first. So.
Oh, Tolman hasn't rolled his initiative yet. Stand by.
Oh, Tolman's that guy. Okay, I thought he was a bad guy.
Could I use lay on hands on myself?
Lay on hands usually is not used. Boy, I'll have to read it. That's a wonderful question that I don't immediately know the answer to. Just a minute. Let me look at your character.
Philip's always lost.
I am terrible at rolls. Okay.
He really is.
Guys, I'm just gonna say for this one, if you want me to use one of my divine numbers for one of your attacks, just let me know, because I have an 18 and a 20. The 20, if I'm not mistaken, Dwight, is a critical hit.
I believe you're right.
I'm probably gonna get like a 2, so we might need to use that.
Yeah, but let me know if you want to use it, because usually I'll be like, okay, well, this is what you roll, but it doesn't really work out how I want to. So if you think you've got a good chance of maybe killing like one of the dragons or something, let me know, and then we can use it that move.
Philip, I don't see anything that would keep you from being able to do that. So I'm going to allow it in this case, but that's something I'm going to have to research, and I don't want to spend the time to do that now. So if you decide to use that on yourself, you can.
All right. I'll just do that for my turn.
All right, stand by. Target yourself. Wait a minute, it's not your turn yet. Stand by.
Yeah.
Not your
We'll
turn.
wait. We're starting with zombie number 11. Attacks Tolman. And misses him. Rolling.
Oh. Well, I mean, should I go straight for the dragons? Where they light us all on fire, or?
You could.
Yeah, I think maybe the dragons might be a good one.
Are you gonna use your hunter's mark or just attack?
So I can't do both, right?
Can't.
No. Hunter's Mark. Wait a minute. Isn't Hunter's Mark a bonus move?
Nah, it's a spell.
Let's take a look at it. I know it's a spell, but just a moment.
You know, I know you let me last time, but I can't remember why. One bonus action. Casting
One
time.
bonus action. It is
Okay.
a bonus action.
Okay. So
That does not have to be. Yeah, you can put your Hunter's Mark. It's a bonus action.
Okay, so I select the dragon. Do I have a good line of sight to both, or do I need to move?
At the moment, you don't.
Okay. What's blocking me? The pillars in the middle?
Philip and a zombie and the pillars.
Maybe if you could move to the right of, or there, right of Proud.
You can just charge forward. I'm kidding.
Well, that's not a terrible idea. Because if I move here, it will give... I mean, you guys are going to move up, right? And get in front of me, so I'm not going to take all this damage.
Right.
Thanks. Okay. I'll move here.
Now
Then.
you should all turn tail and run out of the building.
Yeah, we're gonna kill Roland off. Fixes all of our problems.
So I'm gonna move. Actually, sorry.
While Roland's going up, charging, we'll blockade the.
Can I go right here and have line of sight of the dragon?
Oh, from there it would be a little more difficult with those pillars.
Does that zombie get an advantage?
Not because
No, unless he leaves
That area?
It depends on. He hasn't decided on his move yet, and I should have had these things locked down. Just a moment. Okay, all tokens are now locked. If you move there, you would have difficulty. I'm going to put you back. If you move there, you would have difficulty because of the pillars.
Okay.
I'll let you decide your move now.
How about there? Would I have difficulty there?
No. And since you went into, but you have not completely left the zombie zone of control, so he will not get a freebie attack on you.
Okay. Let's go Dragon 3.
Now you can target either dragon.
Dragon 3, and I'm going to take Hunter's Mark, and I drop that on me, right? Or
On
like
yourself.
That? Yes. Didn't work. I drew the wrong thing, I think. Hold on. The eye, right?
I'm sorry. Let me go to Hunter's Mark. Take the effect. See where the effect on Hunter, if you hit the little spyglass, it'll open it up. You'll see the effect. Drag the effect to the combat tracker and drop it on yourself.
The effect part. Okay, there we go. All right.
You now have Hunter's Mark. I can see it.
Here we go.
Attack. Hit.
Hell yeah.
Wounded it. Nice shot. When you're ready, you can end your turn.
Done.
Proud.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Turn Undead.
Target all of the undead except the dragons.
Roland, do you need me to move closer to you for help?
Yeah, that'd probably be ideal. That way I don't get attacked directly by the dragons.
That's a smart idea.
So maybe.
Yeah, I'm staying far away from the dragons. I learned my mistake on the boat.
So I'm
Roland's
gonna
ride
zombie
one of
if I
them,
move
isn't he?
in front of him, right?
I'm sorry, say what? If you know, you can move in front of him without crossing the zombie.
Yeah, the one dude looks like a zombie, but he's not. Tomlin, he just looks like a zombie. I thought he was too.
Yeah, he's facing the wrong way. Here we go. That's Tomlin.
So you want me up here in front of you, Roland?
Yeah. Why don't you move up a block or two in front of me?
Okay.
Perfect.
Now you're going to cast
Tomlin?
Undead.
Tomlin's
Target all 4 zombies, and I might as well say it now. Also target the 2 Kingsguard.
Okay, are they the black soldiers?
Yes,
Okay.
they are not alive anymore. The Kingsguard that were sent to guard Paul didn't survive.
Are the dragons undead like the other one was, or are they
Yes.
dragons? They're undead too?
They are adolescent undead dragons. By the way, if you ever buy the monster manual and look, there's no such thing as adolescent dragons. I have created that class.
Did I get
In fact,
everybody?
almost every
Two
creature in this
dragons,
entire
two
game
black
has been
soldiers.
altered from the monster manual.
9-1. Okay, I got everybody.
All right, then you're going to cast. I think it's cast. I could look in your actions and make sure I know how to do it.
I have a cast.
Turn undead. Okay, you are going to roll. What you're going to do is you're going to roll their save.
Okay.
Drag the save into the chat window. You don't even need to put that in the dice tower. That'll tell you the effect of what you just did. I didn't see that happen.
Into the
There it is.
Okay.
Boom. Okay. Let me. Oh, you weren't supposed to target the dragons, but that's okay.
Oh, I thought I asked.
No,
They
you
were undead
don't
too.
bother targeting the dragons. They're immune.
Okay.
Okay, just a moment. Black soldier number 12 failed. This, I'm turning them upside down for turned. That one is turned. Zombie number 11 is turned. The one that just attacked Tolman is turned. And zombie number 1 succeeded. Hold it. Black Soldier 12. Who else failed?
No, just
Looks like
two,
those are the
as far as
only
I
two.
see.
Those are the only two. Those two turned. All right, you've moved and you've cast. Ready to end your turn.
Too many screens.
Now, wait a minute. Let's look at turn undead. Is that a... Let me look at that spell a little bit closer. That is one action. It's an action. A casting time is what I'm looking at when I open the spell. Like it costs one action, so that is an action. It's not a bonus action like Roland's Hunter's Mark.
So it still takes one of my first
Yep.
spell slots, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's a cantrip. That didn't take a slot.
Oh, okay. I think that's okay.
I love
Zombie
seeing
number
how
6.
Roland's screen is set up. Just watching this stream through Discord, it's so different from how I have it.
It is tremendously different than how I have mine set up too, but not my job to.
No, I'm not
It's
like
very,
It's-
I should send you a screenshot. In fact, I will right now. Now,
Mine is
granted-
also so different to
I'm not
Roland's.
like saying
Yeah.
anything is wrong. It's very interesting to see how different it is.
As I silently move my stuff
I
around to make it look
realize
better.
that there's more-
Yeah. We start talking about your screen, and then you're like, "Oh, but my screen, it looks fine to me."
Yeah, I just put my screen in Discord to give you an idea of what it looks like from a DM's perspective. I was looking at Proud, which is why her sheet is up. Okay. So zombie number 6 has moved, but cannot attack. Lord Riz. Is that where you're moving?
Yeah.
And you are aimed at dragon number 3?
Yep. I cast and then I do attack and then damage, right?
Correct. You missed. Dragon number 3. Moment.
I have animal taming. I mean, I can mount one of these guys.
Tame your dragon.
Dragon 3
Then we'll
moves to
bring him
here,
along. Come on, it would be so good.
but it did not breathe this turn. So that's the extent of its move.
Tame the dragon.
Black Soldier
Roland.
number 12 is turned and moves away from Proud as far as it can. Tolman attacks the zombie with a great sword. Hits him. Heavy damage.
Dang.
What happened? Did we lose somebody? Oh, no.
Nope.
2 different people are going live. I see what it is. Tolman attacks again. Second attack. Hits again. Destroys it.
Whoa, Tolman's got 2 attacks?
Yes.
What kind of craziness is this?
Tolman is higher level. Zombie 11 is dead. Tolman then moves. Next comes Black Soldier number 9. Philip.
Okay.
Heal
Uh,
yourself.
Do I want to do that? Because it would take an entire turn to do that. Would I
Wait a minute.
rather?
Hold it. I thought I deleted that critter. Oh, no. Never mind. You're fine. Sorry. What are you doing?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. So, do you guys think I should attack one of them, or should I heal? Because I'm only 8 damage down.
How much
Not
you got?
28
28.
total. So now 20.
How much is your heal on hands heal for?
Uh,
Up to 15.
Yep.
I mean,
You want an opinion from the DM?
Yes.
You can use it since you can use it at your turn at any time. I'd save it, but that's just my opinion.
I wasn't. What was your opinion?
Yeah, what
Since-
was your opinion?
He can use it at any time, and maybe on somebody who needs it worse than himself later.
Oh,
So
okay.
I would save it.
Yeah, because these dragons. Should I attack the dragon guys or the zombie? Is that zombie turn 6?
No,
No.
it's not.
And if it's a zombie, or is that a pillar?
Nope, it's not a pillar. But you're not quite. You want me to move you in range of the dragon instead?
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
You are now in range of the dragon.
All right.
Whoa.
Wow.
What's his face?
He didn't. He didn't. Lord Riz.
You meant to ask before you rolled.
You could
I'm
use your. You could use your inspiration and re-roll that.
Should I?
If you
Guys?
use your inspiration, I'll give you a critical hit.
All right, I'll use it.
He's using his inspiration, and now roll. Are you saying he gets a critical?
20, yeah.
All right. So you rolled a 20. So you're going to do your damage twice.
Okay.
So you hit critical. So now you can just go straight to damage. That's the first damage. You get to roll it again.
I did 2 dice for that. I just rolled 2 at once.
Oh, no, wait a minute. That's not how damage works.
Okay.
In your actions, in your actions, on your longsword +1 is 1d8 plus 5. Hang on, let me remove the damage from the dragon. So what you want to do is
It's
click
just
on the
+4.
1d8 plus 5 on your longsword +1.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that one.
Click on the damage. There you go. Now that's 10. Now you get to do it again. And that's another 8. Is that better?
Okay. Okay, that makes sense.
The damage, the dragon is quite hurt now. Zombie number 9. To hear and attacks Tolman. Misses him. The second dragon. Wow.
Never good. When you say that,
Yeah,
Dwight.
it's never good. It's never good when you guys wow.
Attacks Paul. He's attacking with a bite. Misses him.
Oh.
That was actually a good wow. Zombie number 1. Rolling.
Am I clear shot or is there too many people in the way? I mean, the dragon's
There
tall.
are people in the way.
Second question. I have a spell that affects things around it.
What spell are you looking at?
Hail of Thorns.
Hail of Thorns.
It says each creature within 5 feet of it must make a dex saving throw. So is that including my party members or just enemies?
Just a moment. The next time you hit a creature with a before this spell ends, it is a bonus action too. The spell creates a rain of thorns that sprouts from your ranged weapon or ammunition. So you are going to attack a creature with your bow. After you hit, you can cast that spell.
But is it going to affect Philip and everybody? And
Yes, it would. It doesn't not affect people that aren't 5 feet away. It would affect anybody that's 5 feet from whatever you hit.
Out of interest, surely if Roland attacked one of the dragons, it doesn't matter that there's some people in front of it because it's a dragon. It's quite big.
It's the arrow that grows the thorns, not the dragon.
No, I understand that. I mean, just a general attack. If he attacks with his bow, surely
The
he can
dragon
hit
is
a dragon.
large, but they're not enormous. They're large, They're like the size of a very big horse, maybe a little bit bigger. They're adolescent dragons.
Okay.
They're not enormous. They're not huge adult dragons. They are large. They're large, but not enormous. What are you going to do, Roland?
So, am I going to take a penalty to shoot through these people? To hit the dragon?
You would be taking negatives, and there is a small potential of hitting friendlies from where you're standing. Yeah, you're in a little bit of a tough spot for an archer. There's pillars in the way. There's lots of people in the way.
Could I... Alright, I'm just going to move right there. That way I only might hit Tomlin, I guess.
Okay, yeah, but your chances are pretty small. I'm going to give you a -2 on the roll.
Okay.
So put a -2 when you roll, but you would have to have a total failure to hit Tomlin.
Okay.
Tolman.
Everybody's targeted still. Dragon 3? Yeah, okay. Oh, I missed.
You didn't hit Tolman, but you didn't hit the dragon either.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Oh, he's going to roll it again.
How do I use that again?
Just open up your character on the main tab and hit the little black dot underneath inspiration. Upper right, there you go. You've just used your inspiration. You can roll it again.
Gosh dang it.
You didn't roll that poorly. It was actually a 10.
There we go.
That hit. Hang on, I don't understand something. Why are you only getting a +4 on your rolls? Are you using the attack on your longbow? There's a +6 on your longbow.
I am using my attack on my
I
longbow.
know why. No, I don't know why.
So I did do that -2 that time.
Oh, you did the -2. Never mind.
Okay.
Got it. That makes total sense. All right, 15 damage to the dragon.
All right, I want to use... Do you guys want me to use the Hell of Thorns?
If you do, it will hit both Philip and Tolman.
I think save it rather.
But it might kill the dragon off. How much... I mean, he was heavily damaged. I said 15 to him.
I understand. Do you really want to hit 2 of your own party?
I mean, I don't really care about Tomlin. He's not
Yeah,
gonna, he's not going to
remember-
die. He's the
And
main character.
Philip, their paladins are replaceable.
Philip's already wounded, so
I have,
Really trying to kill me off.
I have a chance to hit both the dragons and the zombie and maybe kill a dragon.
Oh, it won't hit the other dragon. They're too large. That would be considered 10 feet. It would hit the dragon, 1 zombie, Tolman, and Philip.
Oh, okay. All right, I won't do it then.
Thanks for not killing me off.
It wouldn't even have hit you. Your armor class is too high, right?
Oh, I don't think so. That's not the way that works. I thought it was just automatic damage. Oh, it would be a dexterity saving throw. That's what would keep being hit. His dexterity is harmed because of his armor. Proud.
I'm gonna use my spiritual weapon spell.
Ooh. Where do you
Is
want
that
it
a
cast?
good ooh?
Say that again, Phil.
Was that a good ooh? Because I just heard.
Oh.
No, I forget about some of her abilities. Where are you casting it, Proud?
Kind of have to explain to me again. Do I have to select where I'm casting it? I thought it just appeared.
You just have to tell me where you are going to cast it. You could put it in between the dragons. You could put it down by the zombies underneath you. You
Yes,
can choose where it goes.
I see. In between the dragons, yes.
Spiritual weapon is now between the dragons. Hang on, let me look at spiritual weapon. There it is. That is a bonus. Okay, that's weird. That's a bonus action. Oh, casting it is not a bonus action. It's just the damage it does afterwards. All right, you're going to target both of the dragons. Then open up the Open up spiritual weapon, the little spyglass, and click on its attack. It hit one of the dragons. So go ahead and do the damage. 5 points to damage dragon number 3. Why did that make people invisible? Did somebody do something weird?
I feel like the song "I'm the Invisible Man."
It's just trying to.
I don't know what that effect was, but I'm deleting it. Did you do that, Riz?
No, I did not.
I blame you.
I
But
think my
many
game's,
songs come to mind.
I think my game's just glitching around tonight with the whole map not loading and everything.
You don't have the ability to turn anybody invisible.
That's true.
Hang on, who's the other one that you turned invisible?
Just Philip.
Oh, just Philip twice. Okay, that's why I thought I saw 2 of them. It hit Philip twice, whatever that was. Okay.
What's
All
the
right.
bonus action on the weapon?
Okay, what that means is it doesn't take any more actions of yours after this turn. It took you an action to cast it, but now you get to move that spiritual weapon as a bonus action. You can move it or leave it where it is, and it will attack every turn as a bonus. That spiritual weapon is still there.
Okay.
Any
so do I
creature.
get an attack as well as the spiritual weapon?
Yes.
Attack? Okay. Gotcha.
Not this turn. This turn was the casting of it.
Right.
Now you can still move if you choose to.
I'm gonna stay right here. I'm done.
All right, zombie number 6. Attacks proud. Misses. Lord Riz. Is that your move?
Yep.
All right. Critical.
So I roll damage twice now.
It will automatically do it. Just roll it once.
Nice.
You just took it out. You just took out a dragon.
Hey.
Black Soldier number 12 is turned. Tolman. Step back and attacks the zombie.
Wouldn't Zombie 9 get an opportunity of attack on him?
Yes, he will. Hits. Wounded it. Zombie number 9. It's a freebie attack.
Doesn't Tolman also get 2 attacks?
He will. Automatic miss. Now, Tolman's second attack. Misses.
Guys,
Ooh,
on
hit.
the upside, guys, at least
Heavy
Tolman's not going to believe us about dragons.
Now, that's probably true. Tolman ends his turn. Black Soldier number 9. Attacks Philip. Misses him. Philip.
Okay.
Hold it. I'm sorry. Proud. Untarget everything except I want you to target Black Soldier number 9. He entered the sphere of influence of your spiritual weapon and automatically is going to be attacked. So you want to roll the same attack under spiritual weapon. Open the spiritual weapon and attack with that. Hit him too.
Nice.
The spiritual weapons damage. 7 points. Good. All right, Philip, now it's your move.
If I went here or one other over, would I get
The
a
knight would get
+2?
an attack on you.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just stay there. And still attack the dragon.
Missed.
A 2?
The whole 2 and nothing but the 2.
I think, Philip, from now on you should just ask me for my divine numbers. And I'll just give them to
Attack on Tolman. Misses. Dragon number 19. Breathes fire. Stand by. Actually, it
goodness.
breathes lightning.
Oh, so much fun.
This is why I'm very happy I am very far away from that thing.
It's going to hit. It's going to go after Tolman, Proud, Roland, and Philip.
So, question, can I use in this situation, because Proud is in my touching range, can I use my protection with fighting style?
What a wonderful question. If it was a physical attack, I would say yes, but this is lightning.
Okay.
Here it comes. Dexterity throws. Whoa. Only Tolman failed.
I don't want Tolman to die. He's lacquer.
All right. Tolman is wounded. Roland lost his concentration on Hunter's Mark, and that has been removed.
And I took 10 damage.
What?
And we all took 10 damage?
You all took damage except for Tolman, who took more.
Damn.
Tolman took 20.
Wow. How much has he got?
A lot. I'm not going to tell you that.
Toman the Unkillable is what he's saying.
Oh, no. Zombie number 1. Attacking Tolman. Well, Tolman is tough. Remember what the... Oops. Oh, I didn't have him targeted. There we go. That's why.
We accidentally get Tolman killed.
It's Tolman.
Killed. Entire campaign just ends.
Well, if you remember what they said, that if Tolman wanted you dead, you would be. That's why Tolman can't possibly be the traitor. Not only does he have himself, but he has command of all the Kingsguard in the city. Roland. He is wounded. You'll notice he is no longer the bright green. He's sort of the dim green. He's damaged as much as Roland is. Ooh.
Is that pillar in my way, or do I got line of sight?
You have line of sight. Yeah, I think you have line of sight there. It's big enough to get around that. You moved any further, there'd be an attack of opportunity on you.
Oh, wait. Can I recast my Hunter's Mark since I lost concentration?
Just a moment. All points for that.
Ignore that roll. I didn't.
Roland, do you want to use
It's
the
a
divine
cantrip.
number?
Yes, you can. No, it's not a cantrip. That's weird.
It's a +1, whatever it's called.
I just marked a spell off because you cast it once before. So yes, you can cast Hunter's Mark. Oh, I know why. Okay, got it. So you're going to re-drag the effect on yourself?
Yeah, I think I just did it.
And I'll mark the next spell off. Okay.
Oh, bad.
Missed.
Roland, I was gonna say, do you want to use the divine number?
Nah, no, not on this.
All right. Proud.
If I move to the other side of the dragon, do I
You would be automatically attacked by zombie number 6.
Oh, I see him now. Okay.
I flanked him. That way you get a +2. And
However, if you attacked zombie number 6, you're flanked and would get a +2.
Yeah. Let's do that. You know that dragon thing that scares me a little bit. Get rid of this flex.
Unless you want to heal Philip.
Actually, you have that spell that heals all of us, don't you?
Hold on, I gotta find it. I can't cast it because it's level 2.
Ah, shoot.
And I don't have any more. I can help Philip. Let me see, I have a couple of heal ones. Hold on.
Yeah, you have Cure Wounds. And it's a touch, and you're within touching right now. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just...
Preserve life, too. Which is just a cantrip.
Oh, you have... I'm sorry, say what?
Preserve life.
Yes, you do. Starting at second level, use your divine divinity. You can present your whole healing energy that can restore a number of hit points equal to 5 times your cleric level. And your cleric level is... I forgot what level you guys. You're 3, so that's 15. Yeah, that's 15. That's pretty good.
I'm gonna do that. I'll do that.
That's a cantrip that won't even take a spell slot. So target Philip
Let me get rid of this
and
zombie.
cast that. And untarget the zombie. There you go.
Just click heal.
Yeah, you can just click heal. You've taken Philip. Look at that.
He looks better.
He does
I
look
do.
better.
I feel
And then
so much
Philip
better.
get an attack as well.
No.
Oh,
No. Hold it. Before I say that for absolute certain, let me look at that spell again. No, it's one action. That is your action. You can move, but you cannot attack now. You probably don't. I know I allowed you to attack as well last game. I'm reversing that.
okay.
It was too much
Okay,
power.
that's fine. Okay. All right, I'm done.
Zombie number 6 is targeted on Proud. Still. Misses. Lord Riz, is that your move?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you here, Dwight. I'm using my. Can I divine my own number?
Yes, you can. You can divine your
ready.
own. So that's an 18 on what kind of attack?
I am casting a witch bolt. on
All right.
Dragon
You
19.
hang on. Let's take a close look at Witch Bolt before I. That's just going to be a hit. You can go straight to damage. Resisted.
That's good to
Lightning
know.
damage. It was lightning damage, which the
Yeah.
creature has completely resisted. Remember, it breathed lightning.
Yeah, I forgot it was. I thought it was the other one that did it. So
12
Yeah.
is 12 is still turn. Tolman. Oh, I can't wait for Tolman. I'm Tolman. Okay. He is still attacked on zombie number 1. Automatic miss. You're not the only one, Philip. Second attack. Still missed. So much for Tolman the Invincible. Zombie number 9 is attacking Tolman. Hits him. Oh, I'm sorry. Zombie number... Hold it. That was wrong. Stand by. That's 7 points to Philip that it did not take place. Just a moment. It's
a
hard to
black
keep
Thing
track
that's
of
just
all this
slowly
stuff.
trying to kill me off.
It's true. Zombie number 9. Hang on. Oh, I see. No, that was correct. That was not zombie number 9. That was Black Soldier. It was correct. I'm sorry.
This
Sometimes
game-
it's hard to keep
It's
track of it.
correctly killing me off.
Yeah, it's correctly killing you off.
Dwight, you're just slowly trying to kill Philip. You're like,
That's
wait,
true.
let me give,
My goal
let me give
is to
Philip some hope, and then let's just crush that hope.
You know,
crush him.
it's like I'm seeing how much I'm needed. You know, just getting killed
You
off
are.
like this.
Oh, you more than you think. You just hit the dragon. Wounded it.
Nice.
Now it's zombie number 9, who is properly targeting Philip. Targeting Tolman. And misses. The dragon. Let's see if it regains its breath. The dragon, before the dragon can attack, Proud, your spiritual weapon needs to attack the dragon. And by the way, go ahead and target the knight as well. It's going to attack them both, so target both of them. This will happen before the dragon gets his attack.
Okay, we'll make sure Philip wasn't targeted.
Yeah.
Okay.
They both hit. Heavy damage to the soldier. And now the dragon takes his attack. on Philip. Hang on, stand by. I need to find that was not okay. The first one missed. I don't know why it did it twice. It missed. It didn't get a double roll. Is there something going on here? No,
It attacked Tomlin and it attacked Philip.
I see. I see the error. Okay. Oh yeah.
So it
I
hit
see
Philip.
It did hit Philip.
This
Holy
game.
Carl.
Sorry, Philip, I had to point that out.
I'm going to roll the damage differently so it doesn't hit Tolman. That's 12.
Yeah. Philip, you should copy my move and just stay far away from the dragons.
I'm thinking about joining Sissyland with you.
Thank you. I love to see that. It's a safe place.
Missed. Rolling.
I think we're gonna stay on the same path here. How's it going? What the heck happened to my guy?
I'm sorry, what?
The technical issue here, hold on.
That's okay. We can wait.
My character sheet's going.
We are not in a hurry.
Class, how do I get my character sheet back?
Although it is 8 o'clock, but I'm having fun. I hope people don't want to stop mid-battle.
No, we'll finish it off. It's not.
That was a hit.
Time. Oh my god.
You did damage it.
Oh, my bonuses though. Alright. Philip. Still in the way there. I'm gonna try to use this ensnaring strike.
You're going to do what?
Use my ensnaring strike. I can't talk. It says it doesn't work as good against large creatures, but
The next time you hit a creature, rather massive thorny vines appears. A large or larger creature has advantage on the saving throw.
Proud, I think your next move you might need to heal our heavy.
So on ensnaring strike, what you're going to do is you're going to roll the save. Okay, you succeeded. Go ahead and roll the save. Oh, you did roll the save and it succeeded. So it doesn't need to roll a second time.
oh, sorry, I already did it. My bad.
That's okay. It succeeded because it had advantage.
Okay.
You would have rolled twice, and if it succeeded on either one, it would not take it.
Okay.
So that's now that was a first level spell, so that is your last spell.
It says +1 bonus action.
I know, but it's still a first level spell.
Oh, okay. Have I
So it
marked
takes a
off?
spell slot.
I think that might be the first one.
I already marked it off.
Oh,
You're
thank
out of
you,
spells.
thank you. I think it might be the first time I actually cast a spell.
That's okay. Proud.
Which is stronger, my preserve life or my cure wounds?
Well, you've already done preserve life once. And you
Okay.
hit him for how many points?
15.
What? 15. So you no longer have those 15 points.
Even though it's a cantrip?
Just a moment. 5
Yes,
times your
damage
creature's
is
inner creature
22,
hit points. The
hey?
feature can restore a creature no more than half its hit points. Half of its. You can't use this feature. Well, no, it does not say that. You're right. You can do it again. So that's a good question. You're either going to do 15, or if you're going to cast Cure Wounds, Cure Wounds would be an 8-sided die plus 3. No, that cantrip is more powerful.
Okay.
I have a little bit of an issue with it, though. Let
Okay.
me read it a little more carefully.
Sure.
My issue with that is a cantrip like that should not be more powerful. Oh, divide it among them. I see. Okay,
Oh, because I could have selected more people.
yes. Okay, yeah, you can use that, and it is pretty powerful. Are you going to heal Philip again?
Yeah.
Your God, I can't believe you can't even just accept that that Philip's gonna get some healing. You have to try to find a way to.
I'm gonna have. Yeah, I have to get around that. There's got to be a way to kill Philip here.
Yeah, like, why am I needed? Come on, let's just kill them all.
Nobody wants you dead. We are all teasing you. Zombie number 6 again attacks Proud. Oh, is that what's called the bomb? That hit Proud. Heavy damage to Proud. Lord Riz.
All right. Okay.
What was that? That was Firebolt. Heavy damage.
All right.
Lord
I'm
Riz
just
has been
thinking.
doing the damage tonight.
No, that's good enough.
Black Soldier number 12 is turned. Tolman.
Come on,
Once
Tolman,
again.
kill number 1.
Hits it.
Yes, there we go. It's dead.
Killed it. So zombie number 1 is gone. Tolman then moves, and with his second attack, attacks the dragon. Missing it. Black Soldier number 9 continues its attack on Philip. Hits him. Heavy damage. Philip.
Okay.
I'm dying. I'm sorry.
There are several things you can do here.
Doesn't
You can
Proud
attack.
get to use her special weapon?
I'm still
You
in his
could-
range, right?
Yeah, that'll happen. Are you you're
Doesn't-
talking about moving to there?
Yeah, because
I
I'm
was-
still in. I'm not gonna get a. I'm going to get.
You can
flanking.
move there. That's no longer, you are no longer in touch range of Proud.
Do
I
I?
can flank.
Sorry.
What?
Isn't Proud meant to get a attack with her special weapon thing?
Yes, but I'm going to have that attack happen on the dragon's turn. But yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hold it. I'm sorry. Take that back. No, he's right.
Because of the
Proud.
soldier.
Target only Black Knight number 9. There is a possibility that Black Knight number 9 is going to go down before it attacks Philip. I see what he's saying now. It missed. Okay.
Never
Putting Philip
mind.
back. Philip moved up. No, it was a valid point, Riz. Thank you for pointing that out. Because what happens is at the end of Black Knight number 9's turn is when the spiritual weapon attacks, or at the beginning of his turn. I had been waiting for the dragon, but your hits it.
Yes, it's dead.
Nice.
It's found.
Killed the dragon.
Yes.
Roman just slayed the dragon. And now he's going to move. He's going to take one step back, attack the zombie.
Why does he get 2 attacks? Because he's higher
He's
up?
higher level.
Awesome. He's awesome.
But he did the worst possible damage he could possibly do. Black Soldier number 9 is attacking Philip.
Oh my! Leave me alone.
Hits. Almost a critical.
Uh-oh.
Philip has
Philip's move.
3 health points left.
Pull it before Philip moves. Proud?
Spiritual weapon.
Yes. Attack with that, and I'm going to remove that damage from Philip if you succeed. I keep forgetting about that spiritual weapon. This is why I told you guys a couple of sessions ago that you're going to have to help me out with some of this because there's just too much to keep track of.
No.
It missed.
I have
right.
inspiration. Can I roll again?
Not on the spiritual weapon.
Bummer.
You can do it for yourself. All right, Philip, your move. Are you going to move there?
Yeah.
That
Okay.
would give you a +2. The spiritual weapon, that would be considered a flank.
Yeah, that's why.
And that's something that Proud may want to think about in the future. That you could use the spiritual weapon as a flank.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
you didn't have him targeted. It's too bad, huh?
Oh,
It was a great roll. Best roll you had of the
I'm gonna
day.
get it. I'm gonna get it.
I'll
And
let you do it.
now-
Go ahead and dole your damage. I'll let you take it.
Okay.
Target him
But
and roll the
so you know
damage.
you've had a rough game when
He took it out. He took it out. The undead Kingsguard is down.
Oh.
Zombie number 9 attacks Proud. Misses. Rolling. Now, if you're attacking zombie number 6, you probably don't want to use your bow because I'm going to give you disadvantage on that at that close range.
I wasn't.
Cool. You hit it. Heavy damage. Proud.
Finish it off, Proud. I think you can finish it off.
You'll have +2 on number 6 if you attack 6.
I'm gonna take number 9.
So make sure you hit the little +2 icon in the lower left-hand corner.
Out of interest, Dwight, when do you get a +5 advantage?
There are situations where I might put that in there. Hit. There might be some outrageous situations where I allow a +5. I can actually make the plus anything I want. Those are just ones that are often used. She took it out.
Nice.
Number 6 is gone. Go ahead and end your turn. Lord Riz. Hit. Wounded it. Black Sun Soldier number 12 is still turned. Tolman.
I forgot about that guy up top.
Yeah, me too. I completely forgot he was there.
Tolman is moving toward the turned creature.
There's
He
another.
knows,
I do.
he knows less about turning and undead than you do. Philip.
Is it just zombie 9 left?
Philip shouts to Talbot, "Don't hit it."
I'm sorry, we need to go back to Proud's turn for just a moment. Proud, do you want to move the spiritual weapon?
Oh, I
As a
can't.
bonus action, you can move it. Just grab a hold of that S and move it where you want it to move.
There we go, giving yourself the advantage.
Now, the spiritual weapon has advantage on its attack against that zombie, which it can take immediately. Not advantage, it gets a +2.
Can I go ahead?
Yes.
Or is it
Attack
still
with the
Philip's
spiritual
turn?
weapon.
Okay.
That's a nice spell, isn't it?
It's very nice.
Very powerful.
Hit. Good damage, too. Okay, now it's your turn, Philip.
I'm just gonna go ahead and use the lay on hands.
On yourself? All right, target
Yes.
yourself. And then cast it. There you go. Good. Zombie number 9 continues its attack on Proud. Hit. Rolling. Wow.
Have you still got your inspiration?
No, I used
Not
it already.
anymore. Proud. Hit.
Good roll.
Heavy damage. All right, Riz.
I missed.
Automatic hit. Still turned. Tolman.
Oh my goodness.
He attacks. Misses it. It is no longer turned.
This guy.
Philip. Okay, in this situation, instead of +2, it's
Tolman
surrounded
get-
on all 4 sides. In this situation, I'm going to give you advantage on your attack. So instead of hit, in fact, I'm going to give you both. Hit +2 and hit advantage, ADV.
Ooh.
Dwight, doesn't Tolman get 2 attacks?
Yes, he does. I'm sorry. It's hard to remember all this.
No, don't worry. I don't mind reminding. It's just he
He
Is that
missed.
Feature's
must
pet,
not-
Lord Riz?
All right, Philip. Here's your now. Make sure you've got him targeted,
I'm gonna
and so
get
you're going to
a
click plus
1.
2, and you're going to plus ADV, which gives you 2 attacks. One of them hit.
One of them rolled a 2.
Well,
But
right.
it didn't count.
It takes the higher of the 2 rolls, and you destroyed it. Roll
The
it.
Lord of Three must be starting to get really pissed off with us.
Oh yeah, seriously. Are you concerned about how many of these dragons he might have?
Yeah, well, when you said how many flying things there were and how many he had, it's we haven't even faced the griffin yet.
You missed. Proud.
How far can I move again? I can't remember.
Open up your character, and on the
Yeah.
main tab, speed is 30. You can move 30 feet.
Okay. Alright.
Proud has a crossbow, doesn't she?
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
Hit. Wounded him good.
Nice.
These guys are tougher. They used to be Kingsguard. Lord Riz. Missed him.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm having terrible luck.
Attacks Tolman. Critical. Heavy damage to Tolman. Tolman returns the attack.
This is what he gets.
Criticaled. Heavy damage to the Black Knight. Philip.
Philip, weren't you good at throwing knives?
I was pretty good. I'm gonna move as far as I can.
Yeah.
Is that a?
It's a valid move. It'll tell you how many feet.
Well, yeah, I just can't see the map, so I'm just kind of going.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, you're good. It's funny. You've been moving really, really well for not being able to see the map.
Okay, dagger.
You threw a dagger. Now you did hold it. Did you roll the right one? Okay, yeah, the thrown dagger. Okay. You hit it. Damaged him. Rolling.
Come on, Roland. Maybe move closer so you're not shooting over someone.
Missed.
Yeah, missed with a 16.
All right,
Can I
Proud.
preserve life on Tomlin before he dies?
Preserve life.
My little can.
Yes, you could. Preserve life 30 feet. Yes, you could. You could target Tomlin and do preserve life. I'm going to have to read that spell a little more carefully because this seems a little powerful. Maybe you know what? I suspect you can only do preserve life. Here's what I think. I think you can only do it once between long rests. I don't think it's something you can do over and over again. I'm almost certain that is true.
On him.
Yes, that you could do. You could cast your wounds.
Let's do that so I don't keep using it over again.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do some more reading on preserve life, but I have a feeling like
isn't it a cantrip?
It's like, yeah, I have it listed under cantrip, but that's not really what it is. It's like lay on hands for.
Remember, you can also move your special weapon.
Yes, you can. How far can you move it?
Let's see how far we can move it.
Let's see how far you can move it. Yeah. So if we look at that weapon,
20 feet.
20 feet.
Not much of a point.
Chances are it's not going to get there in time.
But it's on its way.
It's on its way. There's no reason not to. All right, Riz. Lord Riz stands right in front of Proud. Here he goes. Hit. And it goes down.
I'm assuming I don't have to end turn now. They're all dead.
All right. This is not a terrible place to end. It's almost 9 o'clock, and I'm worried about the people I know that are supposed to be gone at 8. But there's going to be a lot more happening in here, as you can imagine. There's a huge hole in the center of the floor. It's up to you guys. It's up to the players. If you want to keep playing on into the night, we can.
I run and jump in the hole. It was fun playing with y'all.
Is that what you're going to do?
No.
No.
Yeah, let's call it. It's late.
It is
Yeah.
late. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I did.
It was good.
It was fun. Now I'm going back to sleep.
You guys learned a whole lot about the history of Ashter, and
Yeah.
you figured out who the traitor was.
Yes.
Definitely.
The priest. Oh my goodness.